Hi Aries. Welcome to Virgo season, mid-August to mid-September. I'm just looking through your notes. So we're going to talk about something that's a little bit difficult for me, for you, for anybody. It starts off innocent enough. What does the single Aries want? What does a relationship based on respect for that fiery spirit you have, what does that look like? Is it possible? And from there, the thought process throughout Mercury retrograde quickly progresses to what happens when we're actually in a relationship. Things move fast. Connections are magnetic. You dive in headfirst. And perhaps everything that you contemplated when you were single about what you wanted and what complements your spirit, well, momentarily they get put to the wayside. Hold on. You believe that you're being adaptable, open-hearted, but you had so much power for reason and logic, and you were thinking in terms of what aligns with your deeper desires. But when faced with heat, chemistry, magnetism, someone who knows how to talk to you, perhaps dominate you, someone who is strong enough, your codependency starts to show. Here's where we have the tough talk. Here is your Mercury retrograde tough talk that I have been avoiding. Contrary to popular belief, I like you too much. That's the issue. What we're talking about today is enabling. The enabling of others and the self-indulgence that can destroy us. So that self-indulgence and that enabling comes from the same place. You can call it self-love and love if you like. You can, again, create euphemisms. I'm just approaching this with an open heart. I'm just being adaptable. But I suppose, Aries, the proof in the pudding is, how does it actually feel to be codependent? Once you've adapted to all the other person's needs for the sake of chemistry, heat, how do you feel? Because single Arians are thinking about how they feel, their desires. They're thinking about someone who would align with those, and what does that person look like? They're being aspirational, and it's beautiful, and they deserve it, and you deserve it. But those of you who are falling into a heavy connection, a very sexual connection, those of you who have found yourself in a hot spot are beginning to feel that list of yours dwindling. Does it matter anymore that you want someone who understands your temper? Or is it okay that the person you're currently fucking with can't stand a brusque energy? Can't stand someone who can be abrasive? Are you already starting to mold yourself how you need to fit in someone else's box? Because research has shown again and again, Aries, that when you take part in said activity, the box inevitably breaks. Whenever you try to fit yourself in somebody else's mold, whenever somebody else gets to be in charge of what you do, how you think, what you tolerate, how you feel, the train goes off the track completely. You fitting in somebody's mold is impossible. You burn it away. You burn it away, it melts away, and sometimes it takes parts of you with it. But it doesn't mean that you don't get in willingly. Nobody's forcing you into these molds that are not your own. Nobody's forcing you into melt sessions over and over again. There is a way out of enabling others and being self-indulgent. There is a way out of this, what feels like never-ending cycle of highs and lows when it comes to relationships. There's a way out. Focusing on the bag. And that brings us to married or committed Aries, Arians or Aries. Your partner may have some trouble financially. They may need a little help. If you happen to be in a very committed relationship with someone you truly trust, they may need a little financial help. I'm not a big advocate of that, but right now it feels like your support is needed. And if you can support financially someone who needs, that dependability, I think you'll just come through with flying colors. If you're in a committed relationship and you really want to show this person that you're serious about them and that you love them and that you want to be with them, showing that with money right now, which how often do I say that? Almost never, is a good idea. It really is. Because they need it. It will ease their mind and it will strengthen your bond in a way that shows, the best side of you. The side that unfortunately not a lot of people get to see because they're not kind enough. So going back to the conversation we were having before, it's very possible for you to reach here just being yourself. But it's quite impossible. You'll still have it in your sights, but it's quite impossible to reach here if every time you're confronted with magnetism and heat, you forget about yourself and begin to not only enable your own bad behavior, self-indulgence, but you begin to enable other people's bad behavior, and not just in relation to you, but just them in their own life. You call it love, but it's not love. It's indulging someone out of a kind of inherent sense of superiority. This is not attainable. This level of surety and strength and confidence and beauty and power, this is not attainable from that place of codependency. This is not attainable by someone who loves a person so much that they can't tell that person that they're doing something wrong. Okay? So you're having some Mercury retrograde moments that aren't very pleasant. That's one of the realizations. Another one is around the 18th, you could have somebody from your past just pop back in. And as cruel as it may feel, seem to say this, maybe it's a good person to use as an experiment, as a metric of how far you've come in your interactions with people that you are attracted to. Test out your new dispassionate, sort of removed attitude, you know, be cool when they come back around. If this person is a Cancer, or they're somehow tied, your dynamic with them is somehow tied into your career or life path, yeah, they're coming back with a bit of speed. They're in a serious place. Cancers are not fucking around right now. So if someone comes back around with that energy, they're going places in their life, and they want to take you places with them. They understand that they can't do this by themselves, but they also can't do it with anyone else. They need to do it with you. So they may come back and tell you some version of that. Now, I'm not telling you what you should do once they do that, but I will say that once again, it does feel like you understand your needs and then you abandon your needs. And then you can't be surprised when that pattern is being reinforced, that you will meet people who will do exactly the same thing to you, which is how we get to that place that Aries can get to, where it's like, why does this keep happening to me? So the advice then is to take Mercury retrograde to gain clarity, not make any decisions, not go looking for anything, not commit to anything, just truly sit and think about what is fulfilling as a person, as a partner, as a parent, as a sibling, as a child. You know, truly think about what is fulfilling about the relationships in your life, and then juxtapose that with your love relationships, you know, and be honest with yourself about how different the two are. Now, in some cases, your family is the real culprit that you have had to constantly gaslight yourself to stay around. And, you know, the person that's taking you away from all that is the support system that you find in an outside person. But for most people, it's switched. Okay? You focusing on you, but also doing so in a way that has to do with safeguarding your time, your energy, your peace, your love, your sensitivity, your vulnerability. You don't want to expose yourself right now to anyone who doesn't truly align with how you are. It's time to stop being in relationships where you mimic the type of person that you think they want you to be, because you're so sure that if you were as fiery as you really are, that they wouldn't like you. And maybe, oh my God, maybe nobody would like you. And then there's the other side of the spectrum of Aries that goes, fine, they don't like me anyway. I'm going to go as hard as I can because fuck them anyway. Like they're not going to like me no matter what. And as sides go, I would rather you be all the way over there. Okay, because at least there's some direction and energy there. Now, about this person that comes back after the 18th, yeah, somewhere 18th to the 21st. This is somebody that has to be, that I think you should just, I think you should use them to try out your new self-concept. That's what I think. I think you should try out that avatar that gives no fucks, like never takes any sort of bullshit, just doesn't need anyone for anything. I think you should try this out on anyone who comes back around after the 18th. Just so you can show yourself what's happening. And plus, you know, don't get too wrapped up in whomever comes around or what they have to say, because this way of like kicking things off from the past, and maybe they're trying to reconnect with you by doing that, but this is all kind of weird and we don't want to do it. Now, moving into late August, on the 29th, we have Venus. Sorry about that. Let's do the rest of this in the extended preview. Yes, let's look at the cards. I love you. Hi Aries, welcome to your preview. Okay, so what I was saying was Venus moves on August 29th, and you get a sort of blank sheet where you can writ your desires large, and your partner is on the same page, and you want joy. Those of you who are in committed relationships, your bond after the 26th gets after the 29th gets much, much deeper. And I think it's because essentially you're going through the same process that single Arians are going through. It's about finding that joy. But those of you who are in committed, healthy relationships, you have a partner who knows how to run parallel to you. I think it has always been the hallmark of a healthy relationship with an Aries, is that you can keep pace with them, but you don't make the mistake of jumping onto their track. You have your own track, and you know how to keep pace without making an Aries feel like you're trying to race them. Some people bring out a real competitiveness in you, and that's just not pleasant. And those of you who are in committed relationships, you're just so relieved that you are on the same page about things. It feels right. This is someone running next to you. This is not someone who wants to overtake you. This is someone who can dominate you sexually in a healthy way, because they're not trying to dominate you in real life. You know, it's all compartmentalized in the healthiest of ways, and ultimately you have the same long-term goals. So for those of you who have already gone through the process of finding somebody and aren't in that single space, beautiful. After the 29th, inshallah, just looks beautiful. And for those of you who are still searching, or perhaps just chilling and not interested and therefore attracting, it's all about it's about finding that balance between how much you're willing to compromise for another person on what you want, and how staunch you will be about your own needs and wants. Now, when it comes to the crosswatchers, we'll do it here because if they're still watching, then they're pretty committed. So crosswatchers, I'm so sorry I missed you earlier in the general part, but let's talk now. So Aries are in a place of harmony, but it has been a long time coming, and they need people around them now who are on that same path of joy. The thing about Aries is that if they have to tell you to do it, they know it'll get done, and that's why they tell people what to do. But secretly, I think there is something deeply romantic in the Aries nature that wishes that you would have the same level of initiative yourself. Okay, so if you are someone who is wanting to get the attention of an Aries, or you're trying to understand an Aries that you want to be with, or you're in a situationship and you want to make it more permanent, or if you're in a marriage and things aren't going well. So regardless of what's going on, I wouldn't really rattle Aries until after the 29th. But when you get that far, the thing you should focus on is creating moments for them. Right now, having moments where the world reiterates to them that life is about joy and meaning and fulfillment, it will endear them to you. They want that thing that is deeper and better than pleasure. Aries are, in their own way, growing up, just like the rest of the zodiac is. And the way that they express this burgeoning maturity is by showing you a detachment, somewhat of a detachment from the carnal and the physical aspects of joy and love, and searching or reaching towards something more ephemeral and therefore a lot more meaningful. So sex won't work. The normal kind of turn you on stuff won't work. But creating really romantic moments, going out of your way and, spending the time and the effort, and also having the wit and the smarts to do that, and knowing what an Aries likes, that will take you very far into fall and into winter. If you keep creating these special moments, I think that you will get what you want. Now, if you're dealing with an Aries who won't let you anywhere near them, or they just, you can't seem to get a hold of them, it's possible right now that there are some Aries who are involved in a situation that has to do with family, and they're kind of stuck. And their sense of obligation is very strong, but the situation they're in is extremely detrimental. They need a little time because they're trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. And they will, inshallah, they will. And there's a lot of money involved in that coming solution. But until then, you're dealing with someone who is coping with whatever is going on in the home, with the relationship, in the family, whatever it is coping with it by externalizing, great joy and happiness, but really they're feeling trapped. But they don't let themselves sink into it, They have to keep moving, they have to keep doing, and that is, after all, the saving grace of an Aries. So if you would like to insert yourself in this situation, I think the best way to do it is remind them of how beautiful life is. Be beautiful yourself too. And I don't mean physically. I mean, do nice things and try and understand that if somebody is hung up in a situation, they need a little time. And your loyalty in the meantime, and your understanding and not pushing, will mean the world. There is no better person to invest in. Again, here for the crosswatchers, there is no better person with whom to build a life. But also, there is no worse person if you cross them. So, as a crosswatcher, you also have to be really honest with yourself about what you're able to give, and be honest with yourself about disrupting somebody's life who right now is in a period of great self-reflection and some, deep tumult. So either you're going to add and work, or you're going to subtract and slow everything down. That's up to you. Slow it all the way down. That's up to you. But the choices are there. All right, Aries. You thought I missed the crosswatchers, huh? No. No, they need to be told too, because although on the surface it may seem at times like you've made quite a lot of mistakes,
I don't think anyone actually ever classifies them as mistakes. I think your spirit is so strong, so brazen, that everything you do, people assume you meant to do it that way. So how can it be a mistake? It will get easier, okay? If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like people keep taking from you, if you feel like it's putting you in a spiral, it's okay. Lean on your friends. Lean on your routines. Lean on an early bedtime. Lean on God. Right? Good. I love you. We'll get into the extended. All the links for that will be below. There is a Patreon single purchase, a Patreon subscription, a Vimeo link, a PayPal link where the reading is sent straight to your email, and a link for personal readings that look like the general. Okay, love you.